Hey everyone, I've got another knife review here. These are of my two Striders that I own. Um, Strider knives is one of those brands, kind of like Emerson. I thought they were ugly and too expensive to get. And of course, once you get the knife collecting sickness, then you gotta try them out. I tried out an SMF at one store, and I was like, wow, this is a really comfortable knife. And so I ended up getting an SMF, and most recently I just got this SNG, so I kind of wanted to do this review together. This SMF is the stonewashed one. They're actually both CC versions, so concealed carry versions. So the profile of these knives is thinner than a normal Strider SMF or SNG. I used to have an aluminum block handled Strider SMF. That one had the CPM M4, and I traded it for this one before I reviewed it, and because the one with the full aluminum block thickness I just thought was way too thick for my pockets. It was really intrusive, getting my hands into the pocket, getting my keys and all that kind of stuff. So when this CC came up, I traded it with some dude on the forums. So really quick spec rundown. The SMF is a 4-inch blade with a cutting length, I want to say, of about 3.5 inches, and then the SNG is a 3.5-inch blade with maybe a 3-inch blade edge, maybe even shorter. Actually, is what it looks like. Overall length for the SNG is 8.125 inches, and for the SMF is 9 inches in length. Both of them are titanium frame locks, and the cool thing about the SNG in terms of the build is that on the front scale it is made out of one solid piece of G10. So this is not a back spacer, it's all cut out and milled out from one piece of G10. So it all connects here, and yeah, so and then it just kind of screws in to the titanium frame. This one is the stonewash, handled titanium scale, and this one you have the flame titanium scale. This one has the Ranger Green G10, and this one is just your standard smooth black G10. The both of these steels, I believe, are S30V from what they told me. This is what got me about Strider: the blade thickness. These blade thicknesses are ridiculous. The SMF, I believe, is 0.19 inches, and on the SNG is 0.17. So when you compare these against, say, this right here, my Sebenza, it's ridiculous. Sebenza being 0.125 inches, this, I don't know, say what you will, I think this is a pry bar. I don't know if I would ever use it as a pry bar, and most people would say never to use it as a pry bar, but this is what got me into Striders, this blade stock. So yeah, should I get a fixed blade? Maybe, but I'm not really into fixed blades. So anyway, overall impression of Striders is, they are definitely heavy duty knives. Supposedly Mick Strider is just one of those no nonsense guys, and he's like, knives are meant to be used, and he's not about perfection and all that kind of stuff. And I can see what he's getting at and all that kind of stuff. In terms of my SMF, this is perfection. There's no blade play, rock solid lockup, and all that kind of stuff. They don't have any stop pin here. All they use are these, I guess these are their stop pins, not really thumb studs. This locks up against the titanium here, not so much against the G10, because the G10 will kind of wear away. So, for this one, it's perfect. The finish on this one is on par, I would say on par with the Sebenza. This one, there is blade play. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's some up and down blade play, and no side to side, but up and down. One thing, and it also has the hinder stop lock stop or whatever you call them, stop pin or disc. I don't know what you call it, but anyway, so it prevents overextension. But you know, with all my titanium folders, Sabenzas, I don't think there's ever a time where I fear overextending. So I don't know how necessary it is. Even if you're hard using it, I don't know if there really is a need for that. The jimping on the Striders is, I don't know, too hard, but it works. It's probably some of the best jimping, you know, that I've used. I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe it is maybe a little bit too hard. Like if you're gripping it, it's gonna start hurting. But I can see, because of how deep it is and how sharp it is, you know, if you're using gloves, it makes a lot of sense, and I think it'll hold on great. Maybe the best with gloves. I've never actually tried it, but you know, but overall, you know, there's jimping on the back here for a reverse grip. You know, you know, one thing about Strider is, you know, aesthetically, when I first saw them, I thought they were so ugly. Now, of course, you know, now I think they're beautiful. But this triangular shaped handle and all that kind of stuff, I think makes it a really, really comfortable knife, really ergonomic knife, which is one of the things that I like a lot about Striders now. In terms of, you know, for, you know, this choil on the blade, I think also makes it a very precise cutting knife. You know, Strider is all about, you know, their knives are meant to be working knives, and I can see how it is. You know, you compare it against a Sebenza, and I always see the Sebenza as a, you know, everyday gentleman's carry, you know, for all those cutting tasks. But how much, I don't know how often you need, you know, a blade that is so long. And I think one of the complaints people have about Striders, you know, their blade edge, you know, is a lot shorter, and that's fine, but it's like, you know, how much blade cutting surface do you actually need? So, you know, whatever, you know, people hate it, people love it. One thing that I guess two complaints about Striders. One is very, very trivial. One is these lanyard holes. They're pretty much useless because when you close the blade, you can see in that lanyard hole right there, you know, that blade comes into that lanyard hole. And so if you were to put a full 550 paracord lanyard, you're going to end up slicing it and cutting it, and it's going to fray. So I would definitely not put any kind of good lanyard in here. Same thing for the SNG. You know, your lanyard hole is going to, that blade is going to cut and fray that that lanyard. So I don't know what the point of putting that under is. The other thing about the Strider is the pivot. The pivot is huge, it's thick, and it's going to be durable. You're not going to break that pivot, but that spanner thing is, it sucks. I hate it. And you know, you either have to get a you know, a special tool made by either PSD, if you can find it, or by Hinder, you know, but that's a $70 tool just to be able to tighten and, you know, loosen up your pivot, and that sucks. That spend another $70 just to, you know, adjust your knife. So I ended up getting a little bike chain spanner tool, and I filed it down, and that works great now, and that cost me about $7-8. So, you know, that's worth it. Anyway, so overall impression of the Strider, it is a great knife. You know, both SNG and the SMF are great knives. Quick size comparisons here. You know, there you have it against the large Sebenza. Here it is against a small Sebenza on the bottom. And then here you have it against Delica up here on the top. So if if I had to, you know, go through a war and all that kind of stuff, I would bring this SMF knife for sure. You know, this SMG it's a great knife, but in terms of durability and like all that kind of stuff, I would definitely bring the SMF. So anyway, yeah, Strider Knives it's a company now that I really, really like. Not as much as, say, Chris Reeve or Emerson, but yeah, I really enjoy them. All right, man. Just let me know what you guys think, and please subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Oh.